You need to know these things before you neuter your cat. Today I'll be showing you some never seen before side effects that might make you reconsider neutering your cat. And I'll also be addressing the pros of neutering your cat, so let's get right into the video. Cat. And in just a moment, I'll be covering. You need to know these things before you neuter your cat. Today, I'll be showing you some never seen before side effects that might make you reconsider neutering your cat. And I'll also be addressing the pros of neutering your cat, so let's get right into the video. Alright, so there's a lot to consider before you neuter your cat. And in just a moment, I'll be covering the key aspects you need to know. Because trust me, there's a lot of side effects. And obviously some of them are pretty beneficial for you and maybe your cat. But some of these side effects that are not so good will live with your cat for the rest of their life. So let's get right into the very first side effect. And I found this one really interesting. Neutering your cat can lead to a decreased metabolic rate and increased appetite, which just might be the reason of why your cat always seems hungry. Of course, we want to prevent our cats from becoming obese, but at the same time, that's not enough of a reason to not neuter your cat. So let's move on to some more serious side effects. The next major side effect we will be going over is urinary tract issues. Now, this side effect doesn't have a high probability, but it's still important to keep in mind. Now, at this point, you might say, well, this is a little inconvenient, but it's still not enough of a reason to not neuter my cat. But these next few reasons might just save your cat from that awful vet visit. Now, you probably already knew about this side effect because it's pretty obvious. When putting your cat through a surgery, there's always a chance of complications. However, the risk doesn't just last during the surgery. Your cats will feel very sick days after. Your cats might become less affectionate and more wary of humans. And it's pretty logical because the humans are the ones that did that to your cat. These are definitely not all the side effects, so I encourage you to go watch a video of a cat getting neutered if you're still planning on getting your cat neutered. Now I want to go over the pros and some reasons of why you might want to neuter your cat and why it's still a good idea. So obviously the number one reason is the cat spraying all over the house. Especially if you have a nice house, you really don't want that getting ruined. And if you've had an unneutered cat, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Your cat also might become a little less restless, because they won't be spending the whole day looking for a mate. I completely understand both sides of the argument, and I'm not encouraging you one way or the other. I'm just saying you need to weigh your options before you make such an important decision for your cat's life. Leave a comment if this video helped and explain how I can do better in my next videos. Thank you so much for watching and check out some of my other videos. Today I will be revealing 7 deadly foods not to feed your cat. Some of the foods on this list are pretty obvious, while others I wouldn't have suspected in a million years. Watching this video could very well save your cat, so make sure you watch till the end. where I reveal one final food that no one would ever guess. Okay guys, food number one is actually quite shocking. I'd never heard of it until a few days ago. The first food is grapes and raisins. From what I saw, these fruits can cause kidney failure in cats, and although the exact toxic substance isn't known, it's still safe to stay away from this food. Alright, let's move on. Okay, the next poisonous food is avocado, which I never would have guessed. Reason being is that avocados contain persin, which can cause vomiting and diarrhea and pancreatitis. So make sure not to feed avocados to your cats. Let's move to the third food. Okay guys, the third food is actually human-grade tuna. And the reason behind this is actually quite simple. Although they can have some tuna, if they have too much, they will begin to lack vitamin E, which can cause fatal illnesses. So make sure to balance your cat's diet. Okay guys, food number 4, which really isn't a food, is actually caffeine. Basically, caffeine is in coffee, tea, energy drinks. It'll probably say if there's caffeine in it. Although it might not kill your cat, it can lead to serious issues like heart palpitations, restlessness, and a rapid heartbeat, which is not very pleasant for your cat. So yeah, basically the message is don't feed your cat stuff with caffeine in it. Okay guys, the next food is actually pretty obvious as well. It's raw meat. It doesn't take a genius to figure out. It's because it can carry lots of bacteria, which when your cats eat, it gets into their body and can cause them to become very sick. So make sure to not feed your cats raw food. Alright guys, we have 2 foods left. The next one is actually chocolate. I'm sure almost all of you already knew that. One of the reasons why is actually because of the caffeine in the chocolate, which we went over earlier. I'm not going to break it down for you. It's pretty simple. Just don't give your cat chocolate. Pretty sure that's one of the most basic things every pet owner knows. And finally, here is the last thing your cat cannot consume, which is alcohol, which can cause severe liver, brain damage, coma, and death. So don't give your cat a sip when you're drinking beer, which I know a few people have probably done, considering they were probably pretty drunk. Anyways, that's all for this video. Make sure to subscribe and check out my other content. Thank you so much for watching. It's the holiday time and you're putting up all your decorations, and you scroll through a few articles online and you see something that catches your eye. Article says mistletoe is poisonous to cats? Let's find out. Okay guys, so I was putting up my mistletoe the other day, and I remember seeing an article online, talking about how mistletoe, the leaves from the plant, could actually be poisonous. So I decided to do some investigation on my own, and I found all sorts of stuff, but I'm going to try to give it to you as straightforward as possible. So basically the plant is poisonous to all mammals, like humans. If we consume that would also be poisonous for us. But does the same go for cats? Well, as you probably figured, of course it does. However, just because they eat a few leaves doesn't mean it's going to kill them. So right now I'm going to show you what happens when they eat mistletoe, and if they do, I'll give you a few remedies that could help them out. So basically, mistletoe is potentially deadly to cats if they eat it in a large amount. It will cause them to vomit. It will also cause breathing issues and other scary side effects, including death if they eat too much. Would I say you can't have mistletoe? No, I don't think it's a problem as long as you keep it out of reach from the cats and make sure that none of the leaves fall. Now, if your cat has just eaten mistletoe, here's what I want you to do. Make sure to stay calm and call a vet as soon as possible. They will give you all the help you need. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I wish your cat the best of health. Happy holidays. Did you know when you declaw your cat, it's like cutting off the tops of their fingers? Look, nobody wants a couch like this, but it's not worth making your cat go through years of pain just so your couch can look a little nicer. Alright guys, in today's video, I'll be showing you the side effects of declawing your cat, because if you are considering declawing your cat, make sure to watch to the end, because some of this stuff is pretty heartbreaking. And I'll show you a way to keep your furniture and your cat with claws in the same house. So without further ado, let's see the side effects of declawing your cat. So besides from the initial pain, some long-term effects may include arthritis, nerve damage, and believe it or not, sometimes even back pain. That's because when they form arthritis, they begin to walk differently. And that's not anywhere near all the side effects from declawing. So if this isn't enough to stop you from declawing your cat, After this video, I advise you to go look at some painful testimonies from pet owners who regret declawing their cats. But I get it, if you have a really nice house, you want to look for some ways to keep it nice. So why not just declaw your cat? It's quick and simple, right? Wrong. You should have thought about that before you got a cat. And if you already have a cat and this trouble is beginning, here's a few ways you can stop your cat from causing damage with their claws. First off, make sure you have an accessible scratching post nearby at all times. However, I don't have a sponsored one for this video, but if you want to give me a sponsor, just shoot me an email. Because, I'm always looking for sponsors and stuff. But anyways, there's also safe repellents to keep your cat off your furniture without harming them or taking away their claws. If you're still considering declawing your cat after watching this, I advise you to think again. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I wish your cat the best of health. Did you know your cat could be dehydrated and you don't even know it? And although it's not too big of a problem, in some cases it can lead to organ failure, resulting in your cat's death. So in this video, I'll show you the signs of cat dehydration, what to look for, and how to fix it. Hey guys, welcome into the video, and today I'll be showing you a few tips on how to keep your cat hydrated and healthy. First off, I'll show you a few signs that your cat might be dehydrated. A main sign of dehydration in cats is laziness, but we all know cats are just lazy to begin with. So some other signs to see if your cat's dehydrated: their skin might be not as stretchy, and obviously that's hard to kind of tell. Dry and sticky gums, they're not going to be as hungry, because, they're going to be dehydrated, wanting fluid. And now you're probably asking yourself, why is my cat dehydrated? Why aren't they drinking? And usually, the problem is going to be with the water that they're drinking, and it's because it's not clean, which is why I partnered with Tom X Cute, a pet water fountain company that cures cat dehydration with clean water. The automatic pet fountain is really easy to set up. It just requires a few steps. After that, just plug it into an outlet and let the fountain do the rest. Not only does it look cool, but it has 2 filters, which make sure your cat's water is always clean. I would definitely recommend this product to anyone watching. And if your cat is dehydrated, I would highly recommend searching Tom X Cute Pet Water Fountain on Amazon. I'm pretty sure your cat will love it. And even though it may take a few minutes for your cat to get used to moving water, because for some reason it might scare them, I highly recommend Tom X Cute Pet Water Fountains. Go buy them wherever you buy your stuff. Now, I know this may seem obvious, but if you suspect your cat's dehydrated, the number one thing to do is encourage drinking. Oh, and look at that. It even says consider a water fountain. Anyways, I'm going to show you some of the stuff that could happen if your cat is still dehydrated. Dehydrations in cats can cause urinary tract issues, kidney damage, and digestive problems, and in rare cases, organ failure, diabetes, and heat stroke. In my opinion, there's 2 things that you can do to help your cat with this. Number 1, you can buy Tom X Cute Pet Water Fountain. Or number 2, try adding wet food to your cat's diet. However, you know my stance on commercial cat food, so maybe just stick with the pet water fountain. Anyways, that's all for this video. Make sure to go check out Tom X Cute on anywhere you buy your products, and thank you for watching this video. I wish your cat the best health. This pet food company has a dark secret they don't want you to know that caused cats and dogs to die. After receiving this comment on a recent video, I did an investigation of my own, and what I found is just pure evil. This well-known pet food brand is accused of torturing their animals inside the facilities. Join me on the investigation of a lifetime to find out what's going on. It's the early 2000s, and Procter & Gamble is developing a new cat food company called IMS, and immediately they begin testing facilities and bring in their subjects. At the start, it seemed like a normal pet food company, but undercover workers soon learned the horrifying reality these pets were living in. See, soon after Procter & Gamble opened their first facility, the organization People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, also known as PETA, sent in undercover employees to the facility, and that's when the horrifying truth began to reveal itself. PETA found severe animal abuse at the facility owned by Procter & Gamble, They found dogs and cats being kept in inhumane cages, and many of those animals developed psychological problems later. However, one of the worst reports shows that dogs had their vocal cords cut out because they were being too loud, which I found truly horrific because they were just begging out for help. And the list of abuse went on and on and on. And by 2006, the walls were caving in, which eventually led to Procter & Gamble selling Iams to a whole different company to avoid the bad reputation. But the story doesn't end there.